1. We're taking a look at a 1978 Chevrolet Camaro that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller is asking $14,250 for this classic muscle car. According to the listing, this Camaro LT is a survivor in driver quality condition. It's powered by a numbers-matching 305 cubic inch V8 engine and features an automatic transmission, power steering, and power brakes. The car has a blue exterior and a black interior, which is a classic color combination for this era of Camaros. The seller states that the car has just 72,000 actual miles on the odometer, which is relatively low for a vehicle of this age. They also mention that the car is rust-free and runs and drives well. It's important to note that while the seller describes the car as being in good condition, this is a subjective term, and potential buyers should always inspect the vehicle in person or have a trusted mechanic do so before making a purchase. The photos in the listing show a car that looks to be in decent shape for its age, but there may be some wear and tear that isn't immediately apparent. One thing to keep in mind is that the seller specifically states no joyrides, and that they are only interested in serious buyers. This suggests that they are looking for a quick and straightforward sale to someone who appreciates the value of this classic Camaro. Overall, this 1978 Chevrolet Camaro LT seems like it could be a solid choice for someone in the market for a vintage muscle car. The numbers-matching engine and low mileage are definitely appealing, but as with any used vehicle purchase, it's crucial to do your due diligence and thoroughly inspect the car before making a decision. If you're interested in this Camaro, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person. 2. We're checking out a 1973 Plymouth Space Duster that's up for grabs on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic Mopar for $12,000. From the description, we can see that this Space Duster is equipped with a 225 cubic inch engine and an automatic transmission. It also features power steering and power drum brakes. The exterior and interior are both finished in a gold color, which was a popular choice in the 1970s. The seller mentions that this car is mostly original, with 82,000 miles on the odometer. It's had a few updates, including a new radiator, fuel tank, and exhaust manifold. The seller also notes that it comes with some interesting documentation, such as the original build sheet, window sticker, and sales contract from when it was sold new in 1973 at White House Humphrey in Danville, Kentucky. Under the hood, you'll find a 714 rear end and small bolt pattern wheels. The seller does mention that the instrument cluster needs some work, but they've already ordered and paid for a new dash pad. It's important to note that the seller describes this Space Duster as a survivor and not a high-end show car. This means that while it may be in good condition for its age, it likely has some imperfections and signs of wear and tear. Potential buyers should keep this in mind and thoroughly inspect the car before making a purchase. One nice thing about this listing is that the seller is offering delivery within a few hours of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. This could be convenient for buyers who aren't local to the area. Overall, this 1973 Plymouth Space Duster seems like it could be a solid choice for someone looking for an entry-level classic Mopar. The documentation and mostly original condition are definitely appealing, but as with any used car, it's important to do your due diligence and have a trusted mechanic check it out before making a decision. If you're interested in this Space Duster, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person. 3. We're taking a closer look at a 1985 Chevrolet Corvette that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic sports car for $8,500. According to the listing, this Corvette has 86,000 miles on the odometer and is equipped with an automatic transmission. The exterior is finished in a sleek black color, but the seller hasn't specified the interior color. The seller mentions that this Corvette is a great running car with no mechanical issues, which is definitely a plus. However, they do note that the interior needs some love and attention. This suggests that there may be some wear and tear or cosmetic issues inside the car that potential buyers should be aware of. On the other hand, the seller states that the engine and mechanical parts need little work, which is good news for anyone looking for a Corvette that's ready to drive and enjoy. It's worth noting that the seller mentions there are still payments owed on this vehicle. This means that if you're interested in purchasing this Corvette, you'll need to work with the seller to ensure that any outstanding loans or liens are properly handled during the sale process. Another thing to keep in mind is that while the seller describes this car as having no mechanical issues, it's always a good idea to have a trusted mechanic inspect any used vehicle before making a purchase. This can help identify any potential problems that may not be immediately apparent. Overall, this 1985 Chevrolet Corvette seems like it could be a good opportunity for someone looking for a classic sports car that's ready to drive and enjoy. The low price and solid mechanical condition are definitely appealing, but potential buyers should be prepared to put some work into the interior and make sure any outstanding financial issues are properly addressed. If you're interested in this Corvette, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person and have it inspected by a professional. 4. We're taking a look at a 1974 Chrysler New Yorker that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic luxury car for $15,000. From the listing, we can see that this New Yorker has 120,000 miles on the odometer and features an automatic transmission. Both the exterior and interior are finished in a gold color, which was a popular choice for luxury cars in the 1970s. The seller describes this car as a classic from 1974 with a powerful engine. They mention that the paint is in very good condition, which is definitely a plus for a car of this age. The interior is also said to be in good shape, suggesting that this New Yorker has been well maintained over the years. However, it's important to note that the seller's description is quite brief and doesn't provide a lot of detailed information about the car's overall condition or any potential issues. While they state that the paint and interior are in good shape, there may be other aspects of the car that need attention or repair. As with any used vehicle purchase, it's always a good idea to thoroughly inspect the car in person and have a trusted mechanic check it out before making a decision. This can help identify any potential problems or issues that may not be immediately apparent from the listing. One thing to keep in mind is that while the seller invites potential buyers to ask any questions, their description doesn't provide a lot of information up front. If you're seriously interested in this New Yorker, be sure to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the car's history, maintenance records, and any known issues or repairs. Overall, this 1974 Chrysler New Yorker seems like it could be an interesting opportunity for someone in the market for a classic luxury car. The powerful engine and good condition of the paint and interior are definitely appealing, but potential buyers should be prepared to do their due diligence and thoroughly inspect the car before making a purchase. If you're interested in this New Yorker, don't hesitate to contact the seller and arrange a time to see it in person. 5. We're checking out a 1981 Chevrolet El Camino that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic pickup car hybrid for $8,000. According to the listing, this El Camino has just 71,000 miles on the odometer, which is relatively low for a vehicle of this age. It's equipped with a 305 cubic inch engine and a 350 turbo automatic transmission, which should provide plenty of power and smooth shifting. The exterior of this El Camino is finished in a sleek black color, while the interior features a red color scheme. The seller mentions that the vehicle has been fully restored, which is definitely a plus. However, they do note that the radio does not work, so potential buyers should keep that in mind. One important thing to note is that the seller states they are firm on the price of $8,000. This suggests that they may not be willing to negotiate or entertain lower offers, so potential buyers should be prepared to pay the full asking price if they're seriously interested in this El Camino. The listing also mentions that this vehicle has a clean title and no significant damage or problems. This is definitely good news and suggests that the car has been well maintained and cared for over the years. It's worth noting that this El Camino is being sold by a dealer on consignment. This means that while the dealer is handling the sale, they may not have detailed knowledge of the vehicle's history or condition. As with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to thoroughly inspect the vehicle in person and have a trusted mechanic check it out before making a decision. Overall, this 1981 Chevrolet El Camino seems like it could be a solid choice for someone in the market for a classic pickup car hybrid. The low mileage, full restoration, and clean title are definitely appealing. But potential buyers should be prepared to pay the full asking price and do their due diligence before making a purchase. If you're interested in this El Camino, be sure to reach out to the seller or dealer and arrange a time to see it in person. 6. We're taking a closer look at a 1963 Chevrolet Corvair that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic convertible for just $5,500, which seems like a great deal for a vintage car with a lot of potential. According to the listing, this Corvair has 71,776 miles on the odometer and is equipped with a manual transmission. The exterior and interior are both finished in a beige color, which gives the car a classic and understated look. The seller provides a lot of detailed information about the work they've done to get this Corvair running again. When they first acquired the car, it wasn't running, but after cleaning out the engine bay, gas lines, and air lines, they were able to get it started. They also installed a new battery and an electric fuel pump, which is located in the front trunk, or frunk. Inside, the seller removed the seats to thoroughly clean and vacuum the interior, as the car had been sitting for a while and had some nests. They also sprayed the carpets and under the seats to eliminate any odors. The old foam liner was removed from the back seat and top rest reservoir as well. Now the seller says the car turns right on and sounds good, but they do note that it still needs a tune-up and some work on the brakes, possibly including the master cylinder. They mention that they can drive the car in and out of the garage, but it's not quite ready for the road yet. One thing to keep in mind is that this Corvair needs new tires, although it does come with all 5, including the spare. The seller believes that $5,500 is a great price for someone who wants to take on the project of getting this car fully road-ready. They suggest that with a tune-up and some additional work, the car could be worth anywhere from $8,000 to $13,000. Overall, this 1963 Chevrolet Corvair seems like a solid project car for someone who's willing to put in some work to get it in top shape. The seller has already done a lot of the dirty work to get it running, but there's still some mechanical and cosmetic work to be done. If you're interested in this Corvair, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person and assess the condition for yourself. With a little TLC, this classic convertible could be a real head-turner on the road. 7. We're taking a look at a rare and classic 1984 Ford Mustang SVO that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this unique Mustang for $8,250 or best offer. From the listing, we can see that this Mustang SVO has just 61,165 miles on the odometer, which is incredibly low for a car that's nearly 40 years old. It's equipped with a manual transmission, which is sure to please driving enthusiasts. The exterior is finished in a vibrant red color, while the interior features a sleek black color scheme. The seller provides a lot of detailed information about the car's history and condition. They mention that it runs and drives beautifully, which is no surprise given the low mileage. They also have all the maintenance records dating back to the 1990s, which is a testament to how well this car has been cared for over the years. In addition to the car itself, the seller is including a set of spare rims and a lot of extra parts. This could be a great bonus for anyone looking to keep this Mustang SVO in top shape for years to come. The car also comes with the original service manuals and all the SVO certifications, which adds to its collectability and value. According to the seller, this Mustang SVO has only had 3 owners over the years and has been dealer maintained throughout its life. They also note that there are absolutely no leaks whatsoever, which is a common problem with older cars. The seller is firm on their price, stating that lowball offers will be ignored and they're not interested in any trades. However, they do invite potential buyers to ask any questions they may have about the car. Overall, this 1984 Ford Mustang SVO seems like an incredible opportunity for anyone in the market for a rare and well-maintained classic car. The low mileage, extensive maintenance records, and included extras make it a compelling package. If you're interested in this Mustang SVO, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person. With its unique history and excellent condition, this car is sure to turn heads wherever it goes. 8. We're checking out a 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark V Bill Blass Edition that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic luxury car for $10,000 or best offer. According to the listing, this Continental has 83,000 miles on the odometer, which is relatively low for a car that's over 40 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a stunning white exterior and interior color scheme. The seller provides a lot of detailed information about the car's history and condition. They mention that it's currently their daily driver and has run amazingly without ever leaving them stranded. They've kept up with regular maintenance and have also fixed or upgraded several things over the year they've owned it. One notable aspect of this Continental is that it spent its entire life in Texas before the seller used it to move back to Arizona a month ago. As a result, there's no real rust to speak of, which is a common problem with older cars. The seller has made several significant replacements or upgrades to the car, including converting it to an HEI distributor, replacing all the rubber brake hoses, installing a new carburetor, replacing all the valve lifters, and adding a new alternator, battery, and tires. They mention that they've done even more than that, but those are the most significant changes. The seller seems open to answering any questions or providing more detailed pictures of anything specific that potential buyers might be interested in. They're asking $10,000 or best offer and are also open to hearing trade offers. Overall, this 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark V Bill Blass Edition seems like a well-maintained and upgraded classic luxury car. The low mileage, lack of rust, and recent upgrades make it a compelling option for anyone in the market for a vintage Continental. If you're interested in this car, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person and take it for a test drive. With its unique history and excellent condition, this Continental could be a great addition to any classic car collection. 9. We're taking a look at a 1965 Plymouth Belvedere 2 that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic muscle car for $9,900. According to the listing, this Belvedere 2 has 70,000 miles on the odometer and is equipped with an automatic transmission. The exterior is finished in a striking orange color, while the interior features a brown color scheme. The seller provides some interesting background information about the car. They bought it in its current condition about 10 years ago and have enjoyed it as a fun car, but have now outgrown their interest in it. The previous owner was responsible for the paint, interior, and the addition of a V8 440 cubic inch engine. The seller notes that aside from some minor wear, the paint looks good. This suggests that while the paint job may not be perfect, it's still in decent condition for a car that's over 55 years old. They also mention that the interior is very nice for an older car, comparing it to a lightly used, newer interior. This is a promising sign for anyone concerned about the condition of the inside of the car. Under the hood, the 440 cubic inch V8 engine is described as a torquey beast. While it's not the high-output version of the 440, the seller says it still has plenty of power and gets up and goes. This should be more than enough for most classic car enthusiasts who want a powerful and fun driving experience. The seller invites potential buyers to contact them with any offer, suggesting that they may be open to negotiating on the price. However, they don't provide any additional details about the car's maintenance history or any potential issues, so interested parties should be sure to ask for more information and thoroughly inspect the car before making an offer. Overall, this 1965 Plymouth Belvedere 2 seems like a solid choice for anyone in the market for a classic muscle car with a powerful engine and a nice interior. The orange and brown color scheme is sure to turn heads, and the 440 cubic inch V8 should provide plenty of thrills on the road. If you're interested in this Belvedere 2, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person and take it for a test drive. 10. We're checking out a 1977 Chevrolet Monte Carlo that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic muscle car for $5,500 or best offer. According to the listing, this Monte Carlo has just 84,000 miles on the odometer, which is relatively low for a car that's over 45 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a tan exterior and interior color scheme. The seller mentions that everything under the hood has been replaced with new parts, which is a great sign for anyone concerned about the car's mechanical condition. They also note that the car runs well, suggesting that it's in good driving condition. One notable feature of this Monte Carlo is the set of 14-inch chrome and gold wheels with new tires. This adds a nice touch of style to the car's already classic look. The seller states that this Monte Carlo has had just 2 owners and comes with a clean title. They also mention that the vehicle is paid off and has no significant damage or problems, which is always a good thing to hear when considering a classic car purchase. In terms of the price, the seller is asking $5,500 or best offer. They also mention that they're open to trading for a 2-door Yukon or an OBS, old body style pickup truck. This suggests that they may be flexible on the price or payment method for the right buyer. Overall, this 1977 Chevrolet Monte Carlo seems like a solid choice for anyone in the market for a classic muscle car with low miles and a clean title. The new parts under the hood and the stylish chrome and gold wheels are nice touches that set this car apart. If you're interested in this Monte Carlo, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person and take it for a test drive. With its unique history and excellent condition, this car could be a great addition to any classic car collection. 11. We're taking a closer look at a 1976 Chevrolet El Camino that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic pickup-but-car hybrid for $3,000. From the listing, we can see that this El Camino has just 56,000 original miles on the odometer, which is incredibly low for a vehicle that's over 45 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a brown exterior and interior color scheme. The seller mentions that the car does need some body work, so it's important to keep that in mind when considering this El Camino. They don't provide any specific details about the extent of the work needed, so interested buyers should be sure to ask for more information and thoroughly inspect the car in person to assess the condition. On the plus side, the seller notes that the engine runs strong and that it's a V8. They also state that the car runs and drives, which suggests that it's in good mechanical condition, despite the need for some cosmetic work. The seller holds a clean title for this El Camino, which is always a good sign when buying a classic car. They also mention that the vehicle is paid off, so there shouldn't be any outstanding financial issues to worry about. While the need for bodywork is definitely something to consider, the low original mileage and strong-running V8 engine are compelling features of this El Camino. For the right buyer who's willing to put in some work on the cosmetic side, this could be a great opportunity to own a classic Chevy at a relatively affordable price. If you're interested in this 1976 Chevrolet El Camino, be sure to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the specific bodywork needed. It's also a good idea to arrange a time to see the car in person and take it for a test drive to get a better sense of its overall condition. With some TLC and a bit of elbow grease, this El Camino could be a really cool classic ride. 12. We're taking a look at a 1984 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz convertible that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic luxury car for $9,000 cash. According to the listing, this Eldorado has 70,000 miles on the odometer and is equipped with an automatic transmission. The exterior is finished in a classic white color, but the seller hasn't specified the interior color. The seller provides some important information about the car's current condition. They mention that while the car runs and drives, it does need a tune-up and some minor work. This suggests that the car has been sitting for a while and may need some mechanical attention to get it running in top shape. On the plus side, the seller notes that the motor is good, which is a promising sign. They also state that the body is in great condition, which is always a plus for a classic car. However, it's important to note that the seller mentions the convertible top will need to be replaced due to tears. This is a significant issue to keep in mind, as replacing a convertible top can be a costly and time-consuming process. The seller seems firm on their asking price of $9,000 cash and mentions that they're not hurting for money. They also state that they're only interested in serious inquiries, suggesting that they may not be willing to negotiate much on the price. Overall, this 1984 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz convertible seems like it could be a solid project car for someone who's willing to put in some work to get it running in top shape. The good condition of the body and motor are definitely promising, but the need for a tune-up, minor work, and a new convertible top are important factors to consider. If you're interested in this Eldorado, be sure to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the specific work needed. It's also a good idea to arrange a time to see the car in person and assess the condition for yourself. With some investment and elbow grease, this classic Cadillac could be a really cool ride, but it's important to go in with eyes wide open about the potential costs and work involved. 13. We're checking out a 1969 Mercury Marauder that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this rare classic muscle car for just $2,500, but it's important to note that this is a project car that needs a lot of work. According to the listing, this Marauder is one of only 5,000 produced in 1969, making it a rare find. It's equipped with a powerful 429 V8 engine and an automatic transmission. The exterior is finished in a gray color, while the interior is black. The seller mentions that the car runs and drives, which is a good starting point for a project car. However, they also note that the original interior is missing, and the car currently has a Sparco racing seat installed. This suggests that the interior will need a complete overhaul to bring it back to original condition. On the plus side, the seller states that the wheels and tires are in great shape, with only about 2,000 miles on the tires. This is a nice bonus for a project car, as new wheels and tires can be a significant expense. However, it's crucial to pay attention to the seller's description of the car's overall condition. They clearly state that while the car runs and drives, it needs everything else. The seller mentions that this is a gutted field car that they got running and started driving, which suggests that it may have been sitting for a long time and could have significant rust or other issues. Another important factor to consider is that the seller does not have a title for the car and can only offer a bill of sale. This can make it difficult or impossible to register the car, depending on your location and local laws. Overall, this 1969 Mercury Marauder is a rare find with a lot of potential, but it's definitely a project car that will require a significant investment of time and money to bring back to its former glory. The lack of a title and the need for a complete interior overhaul are important factors to keep in mind. If you're up for the challenge and have the skills and resources to take on a major project, this Marauder could be a great opportunity to own a rare piece of American muscle car history. However, it's important to go in with eyes wide open about the work and costs involved. If you're interested in this car, be sure to reach out to the seller and ask for more details and photos of the car's condition, and consider having it inspected by a professional before making an offer. 14. We're taking a look at a 1978 Cadillac Coupe de Ville that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic luxury car for $10,500. From the listing, we can see that this Coupe de Ville is equipped with an automatic transmission and features an off-white exterior and interior color scheme. The seller mentions that the car runs on gasoline and has had only one owner, which is a good sign for a classic car. The seller states that the vehicle is paid off and comes with a clean title, which is always a plus when buying a used car. They also note that the car has no significant damage or problems, suggesting that it's in good overall condition. In their brief description, the seller highlights that this Coupe de Ville is in great condition and is highway ready. This implies that the car has been well maintained and is capable of being driven long distances without issue. One notable feature of this particular Coupe de Ville is the factory power sunroof. This is a desirable option that adds to the car's overall value and appeal. While the seller doesn't provide a lot of detailed information about the car's history or specific condition, their description suggests that this Coupe de Ville is a solid example of a classic Cadillac that's ready to be driven and enjoyed. However, as with any used car purchase, it's always a good idea to ask the seller for more details and to arrange a time to see the car in person and take it for a test drive. This will give you a better sense of the car's overall condition and any potential issues that may not be apparent from the listing. Overall, this 1978 Cadillac Coupe de Ville seems like a great opportunity for someone in the market for a classic luxury car that's in good condition and ready to hit the road. The factory power sunroof and clean title are definitely appealing features, and the seller's description suggests that the car has been well cared for. If you're interested in this Coupe de Ville, be sure to reach out to the seller and arrange a time to see it in person. 15. We're checking out a 1985 Pontiac Firebird that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic sports car for $4,500. According to the listing, this Firebird has 125,000 miles on the odometer, which is relatively low for a car that's nearly 40 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a blue exterior and interior color scheme. The seller mentions that they have the original paperwork and a clean title for the car, which is always a good sign when buying a classic vehicle. They also note that the car is mostly original, suggesting that it hasn't undergone any major modifications or changes. One notable feature of this Firebird is the cold air conditioning, which is a desirable option for a car of this age. The seller states that the car runs well, which is another positive aspect. However, the seller does mention that the car may need some carburetor work. This is an important factor to keep in mind, as carburetor issues can affect the car's performance and may require some additional investment to fix. The seller seems firm on their asking price, stating that they will not entertain low offers. This suggests that they believe the car is fairly priced and are not interested in negotiating much. Overall, this 1985 Pontiac Firebird seems like a solid example of a classic sports car that's in good condition for its age. The mostly original condition, cold air conditioning, and clean title are all appealing features. However, the potential need for carburetor work is something to consider when evaluating the overall value of the car. If you're interested in this Firebird, it's a good idea to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the car's history and any specific issues or maintenance needs. It's also a good idea to arrange a time to see the car in person and take it for a test drive to get a better sense of its overall condition and performance. With its classic styling and mostly original condition, this 1985 Pontiac Firebird could be a great choice for someone in the market for a vintage sports car that's ready to be driven and enjoyed. Just be sure to factor in any potential repair costs when considering the asking price. 16. We're taking a closer look at a 1978 Cadillac DeVille sedan that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic luxury car for $5,000. From the listing, we can see that this DeVille has just 48,000 miles on the odometer, which is incredibly low for a car that's over 40 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a brown exterior color. The seller hasn't specified the interior color. In their description, the seller provides some important context about the car's history. They mention that they bought the car at a storage auction and that it had been sitting for over 10 years. This suggests that the car may have some issues related to long-term storage, such as dried-out seals, deteriorated rubber components, or even rust. However, the seller does state that the car runs and drives, which is a good sign. They also note that the mileage is original, which is a rare find for a car of this age. It's important to keep in mind that while the low mileage is appealing, the fact that the car has been sitting for so long means that it may require some significant work to get it back into top shape. The seller doesn't provide any information about the car's overall condition, so potential buyers should be prepared to thoroughly inspect the car and budget for any necessary repairs or maintenance. When considering a car that has been in long-term storage, it's crucial to check for issues like rust, dry rot, and deteriorated rubber components. It's also a good idea to have a mechanic inspect the car to assess the condition of the engine, transmission, and other major systems. Overall, this 1978 Cadillac DeVille could be a great project car for someone who's willing to put in some work to bring it back to its former glory. The low original mileage is definitely a selling point, but the long-term storage is a significant factor to consider. If you're interested in this DeVille, be sure to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the car's condition and any known issues. It's also a good idea to arrange a time to see the car in person and have it inspected by a professional before making an offer. 17. We're taking a look at a 1982 Buick Skylark that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic compact car for $2,700. According to the listing, this Skylark has just 57,368 original miles on the odometer, which is quite low for a car that's over 40 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a white exterior and a red interior. The seller mentions that the car is in good condition overall and has a clean title with no significant damage or problems. They note that they're selling the car because they don't have as much time to drive it as they used to and would rather pass it on to someone who can give it more attention. There are several pros to this Skylark, including the low original mileage, recently rebuilt carburetor and transmission, original paint and radio, and a very smooth ride. The seller also mentions that the car often attracts attention from people who remember these classic Buicks. However, there are also some cons to consider. The seller notes that the paint is chipping on the hood and there's some occasional surface rust that they try to stay on top of. There's also a ding on the rear passenger side wheel arch that's been there since the seller got the car shipped from the original owner in Illinois. The seller also mentions that the car needs a new compressor and muffler, but they already have both parts. The antennae also came detached in a car wash, which is a minor issue. One thing to note is that the taillights on this Skylark are actually from a 1985 model, as the original taillights were damaged by a hit-and-run driver. This may be an issue for someone looking for a completely authentic restoration, but it doesn't affect the car's overall functionality. Overall, this 1982 Buick Skylark seems like a solid classic car with a lot of potential. The low mileage, rebuilt components, and overall good condition are definitely appealing. While there are some minor issues to address, like the chipping paint and surface rust, these seem like relatively easy fixes for someone who's handy with cars. If you're interested in this Skylark, it's a good idea to reach out to the seller and ask for more details about the car's history and maintenance records. It's also a good idea to arrange a time to see the car in person and take it for a test drive to get a better sense of its overall condition and performance. 18. We're checking out a 1968 Mercury Cougar that's currently for sale on Facebook Marketplace. The seller has listed this classic muscle car for $14,000. From the listing, we can see that this Cougar has just 2,000 miles on the odometer, which is incredibly low for a car that's over 50 years old. It's equipped with an automatic transmission and features a blue exterior and interior color scheme. The seller mentions that the car is paid off and comes with a clean title, which is always a good sign when buying a classic car. They also note that the vehicle has no significant damage or problems, suggesting that it's in excellent condition. Under the hood, this Cougar is powered by a 289 performance engine with some impressive upgrades. The seller mentions that it has aluminum high-rise Edelbrock valve covers and a 650 4-barrel carburetor, which should provide plenty of power and a great sound. While the seller doesn't provide a lot of detailed information about the car's history or specific condition, the low mileage and performance upgrades suggest that this Cougar has been well maintained and possibly even restored at some point. The blue exterior and interior color scheme is a classic look for a Cougar of this era, and the car's overall appearance in the photos is very impressive. It's clear that this is a high-quality example of a vintage Mercury muscle car. Of course, as with any classic car purchase, it's always a good idea to ask the seller for more details and to arrange a time to see the car in person and take it for a test drive. This will give you a better sense of the car's overall condition and any potential issues that may not be apparent from the listing. Overall, this 1968 Mercury Cougar seems like an excellent opportunity for someone in the market for a classic muscle car that's in great condition and has some impressive performance upgrades. The low mileage and clean title are definitely appealing features, and the 289 engine with Edelbrock components should make this car a blast to drive. 19. Let me tell you about this 1962 Ford Falcon I found on Facebook Marketplace for $13,000. This classic beauty comes in a blue exterior with a clean white interior, which is a timeless color combination. The Falcon shows just 10,000 miles on the odometer, though with cars of this age, it's always good to keep in mind that the odometer might have rolled over. The good news is that this Falcon comes with a clean title and an automatic transmission, which makes it more accessible for everyday driving compared to a manual. The seller states it runs and drives fine, and there's no mention of significant damage or problems. However, it's being sold as is, so I'd strongly recommend getting a thorough inspection before making a decision. That's just smart shopping with any classic car. The Ford Falcon was Ford's compact car answer to the growing demand for smaller vehicles in the early 1960s, and this 62 model represents the first generation of these beloved classics. At $13,000, it's priced in the moderate range for Falcons of this era, considering its reported condition. I'm keeping it real with you. While this seems like a solid example of a Falcon, remember that any 60-year-old car will need regular maintenance and possibly some TLC, even if it's running well now. If you're interested, I'd suggest seeing it in person and maybe bringing along a classic car mechanic for a proper inspection. 20. Let's talk about this 1969 Plymouth Satellite I spotted on Facebook Marketplace for $15,000. I've got to be straight with you. This one's a mixed bag, but let me break it down. This classic Mopar comes in green inside and out, which is a pretty cool period-correct color scheme. It's got 93,000 miles on the clock and packs the reliable 318 V8 with an automatic transmission. Now here's where I need to be honest with you. The seller's being upfront about some issues. The vinyl top needs to be replaced, and there's a more concerning problem underneath: pinholes and rust in the roof that need to be addressed before a new top goes on. Roof rust can be a serious issue if not dealt with properly, and it could be a sign of more hidden problems. On the positive side, the car comes with new seat covers and carpet that are included in the deal, plus some extra chrome pieces in the trunk. The seller mentions it runs and drives pretty solid, which is promising. The Satellite was Plymouth's mid-size offering, sitting right in the sweet spot between luxury and performance, and these cars have a strong following in the classic car community. At $15,000, considering the known rust issues, you'll need to factor in the cost of repairs. I'd strongly recommend getting underneath this car and having a thorough inspection done to check for any additional rust or structural issues. These Satellites are beautiful cars when properly restored, but you need to go into this purchase with eyes wide open about the work needed. If you're handy with bodywork or have a good relationship with a restoration shop, this could be a worthwhile project. Just make sure you understand what you're getting into.